See, this is what I like about the city. Is like we can live in like a populated area in a 1930s apartment, and then a 45-second drive down, and we're here.
Yep.
I think we can take our testing equipment and take it on the sandbar there, because actually the gravel, the rocks and the sand is actually smoother than the path.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of clouds too, so that'll give us some shade. Today's a bit toasty.
It is.
And then we can wait for the sun to come out once we get everything set up.
Okay.
I'll get to it. I'm thinking maybe I should go a bit further.
What is that?
I have no idea. Is it focusing right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to toss it in the water. Huh. So, I've since moved my Solar Sunday series to my Renoa's Big Projects channel. And I hadn't thought of uploading more Solar Sunday videos to this channel, but then I realized I'm going to have to do a lot of work for every single video on that one, because I want those videos to be really nice, and I'll put a lot of effort into them. So I can still upload Solar Sunday videos to this channel because it's going to be behind the scenes. I'm working on a much bigger video for that channel, where that Solar Sunday will be about how do solar panels hold up against just decades of use. And so I've got here a solar panel from about the late 1980s, and I want to do some tests that I can then reference in the nicer video that I make. And I also have other solar panels, so I want to come out here and test a few panels. So I want you to take a look at this. I ordered this panel from eBay because it looked pretty old. And can you see the lettering on the top? So this says solar power. And over here, it says 868 SM1500-6V. And I actually found the company that made this. So if we look at the back of it, you can tell that it was made for the American market. No real information. Obviously a very low-cost panel. It has some Japanese. This was made by a Hong Kong company, or at least commissioned by them. And apparently on their website you can still order them, because they're just a company that has an idea, and if you want enough of them, they'll hire some factory to make them. But they've been making these apparently since 1979, and judging by internet searches, they really stopped making this model sometime in like the 1990s. And judging by how this looks, I'm going to place this sometime around the late 1980s, something like that. So probably about 35 years old. And so this can be a test of how does a low quality import solar panel hold up after 35 years. I have a battery from a 2013 Nissan Leaf. Might have been a it's a 50 amp hour 8.4 volt battery. So that can be our load. It's discharged at the moment, so it's about 7 volts. This is a 6 volt panel, and the other thing, we know the specifications of it because according to their website, they have other panels still on their website. It's kind of amazing I was able to find it with such little information, because it didn't say like Arco or Solec or Siemens or whatever. So the SM1500 on this panel means that it'll give 1.5 amps whenever it's charging a 6 volt lead acid battery. And since this battery is at 7 volts right now, I think that's pretty close to charging a 6-volt lead acid battery. So it should be a pretty good test compared to like just a regular load. I'm going to try out the MPPT charge controller that I have. It only works for 12 volts, but let's see. You might want to get a good shot of this from overhead. Let's see. So positive. So negative. ecosources.com. So the 6-volt panel can run this, but let's see. It's not liking it though. I gotta actually go, oh there. Yes. And let's grab some more cables. Let's go red and green this time. Let's see. Negative to battery negative. Or battery positive to battery positive. Watch the screen, does it change? Sorry. Oh, so the sun's going out, and this panel is just barely strong enough to power this. So it looks like this charge controller just will not work for 6 volts. I know it's meant for 12 volts and 24 volts, but it's one of my favorite MPPT controllers, so I thought I'd try it. It was worth a shot. Okay, so we'll put that back in the bag. What do you think? Oh my god, I hate these alligator clips because they turn around in their thing. So that's measuring about 8 volts at the moment. I'm going to wire this to measure amperage. Negative to negative. Where's the connection breakdown? Let's see. 6.93 volts, that's the battery voltage. 9.5. The bolt is disconnected, so it's like a bunch of corrosion or something. That's weird. I've never had that happen. Where it's tightened down really tight and yet it's not connected. Okay, so that's now back to measuring the voltage of the cell. Oh, we got something for a split second there. What the heck is going on? Okay, so oh my god, I'm dripping sweat from my face. It's a hot day. Oh. I think we're losing some in these wires. Okay then. Thicker wires are needed. Okay, 0.83. So that's more. So there is an issue with my setup. The wires. That's weird because before I was getting 1.5 amps. And so there must be an issue with my setup this time. That's really weird. I don't know what to make of that. Is there... Oh man. I don't want to get moisture on that, so I don't want to sweat onto it. Sounds pretty good.
Oh yeah, this sounds very good.
Oh man, yeah, but I should not have worn a black shirt. That's really odd. I wasn't expecting to have such a low result on that. So, let's see what happens whenever we step it down. So, 0.849 at 7.16 volts, or 1.202 at 3.774 volts. So that battery's at 7.1 volts, or at least whenever it's connected to that. I had a very similar setup in our bedroom because I just held it out the window, and it was giving me 1.3 amps on the single cell. Maybe I accidentally charged up that battery a little bit, but I don't think that thing could have charged that up, because that's a 50 amp battery pack. So a 6-volt lead acid pack would have to sit at 6.4 volts. So it isn't even a 6 volt. It isn't even like we're 1.1 volts above what it should be. This is what this drained 2 series lithium batteries at, is effectively what a charged lead acid battery would be at. But, and then we also have the other issue. Not only does this solar panel not have any specifications on the back, I just have to infer it from the number. It's also a really low quality import from the 80s, late 80s. So this is probably one of those things that you would have seen at the back of a magazine, like a Popular Mechanics, and then had to like mail a check in, and then it would come in like 4 weeks or whatever for your boat or something. And so it already probably was nowhere near the capabilities that it says. You know how import stuff is, or at least non-name brand stuff, because the only name brand on it is 868, and that's not the company that built it. It was let me look it up. It was Goldmaster Development Limited, a Hong Kong exporter. So, what, Goldmaster Limited? Goldmaster Limited made this, which just sounds like Lucky Gold Star or whatever the Chinese brands there are. So, we might not get conclusive information from this, because it would be a low quality panel that would degrade quickly, and I'm not even sure how old it is. Tomorrow, though, me and Thais are picking up a solar panel in New Jersey that is an actual authentic Siemens panel from 1996 or 1997, and it has actual information on it, and it's a good quality panel, so we'll be able to do more with that. But I thought it was worth a shot just to see if I could get some information out of this panel. Oh, and that beeping is just the timer on the multimeter. So, I guess this won't be too useful for the actual test. Like the actual, I wanted to do a video about like how these panels can like hold up over the decades, but that's okay. It was a bit of a long shot anyway. And so now, let's just see what can we get out of it. Bugs on you?
Oh yeah.
Yep, they're everywhere. I'm doing my best to ignore them.
That one just bit me right in the hand.
I bet. Well, if you're getting attacked by bugs, we can get going in a bit. I think I want to use this for power generation, but like smaller power generation, like maybe run a night light or something. So, yeah. Hey, should we get a thumbnail picture? Stop the video and...
Recording.
Oh, it hit 1.15 amps on 7 volts. Okay, so the sun is a bit odd today. It is weird. Maybe we should do it on a day where there's no fog or anything.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, look at that. 1.15, 1.16, 1.165, 1.17. .18. See, I told you 1.2 was what I got. I'm angling it just to see what I can get. Quick intermission while I'm editing this video. We have some actual good results that are akin to what I had before when I was just holding it out the window. I didn't feel like filming that day because I was sick. I thought I could reproduce it by going to the park, but there was a little bit of clouds. I figure I'll be doing this for the big video on Renault's big projects, but you guys deserve to see the actual calculations. So we have 6.85 volts on the battery and 1.192 amps going into the battery. Let's open up a few of these. Okay, so 6.85 times 1.192, and I believe I seem to recall getting that to 1.3. The battery was closer to 6.7, so maybe that was a factor. I can drain the battery more, and then we can actually, maybe I can make an Arduino to track how the voltage is as the battery charges, because I specifically picked a 2 series lithium battery to be right at that perfect voltage to where this battery without an MPPT controller would be at the perfect voltage for this panel, as if compared to like 6 volts. I'm also planning on running my battery system at 16 volts instead of 12 volts whenever I get 12 volt panels, because that'd be closer to the MPPT peak, the maximum power point voltage. But we will be doing experiments to see if that's even viable. So 8.1652 watts. Now we take, I'm just going to hold that there so I don't forget it. 8.1652 divided by 9. So it's 90.7% of what it was. I also want to have you guys' opinion on this math if I'm doing it right. So 1 minus 0.9072444. So that's the number that it's gone down. And now finally, the amount that has gone down would be, well, that number per year, I guess. Now this would not be exponential or whatever, it's just quickly dividing it, so it probably isn't correct, but divided by 35. If this is a 1987 panel, that would be 35 years. So we have, instead of what people normally say, which is you lose 0.5% per year of efficiency. Oh wait, no, this is half a percentage of the power, or is it half the percentage of overall power? That just occurred to me that is actually a distinction. For instance, this solar panel is most likely something about like 17% efficient, as in 17% of the photons that hit it turn into electricity. But I believe the common saying of 0.5% per year is not relative to that, but it's relative to the output. So you would lose 0.5% of the 9 watt panel, because this is 6 volts at 1.5 amps, so 9 watts. And so that's what I'm working under. Please let me know what you guys have heard. As it stands, it looks like this panel has lost 0.25% per year instead of 0.5% per year, which is pretty good. I don't know what it was used on. It looks like it was outside a fair bit, because the fiberglass is kind of eaten up. It might have been on a boat, might have been on an RV, hard to say. But yeah, 0.25% per year really, really extends its longevity a lot. So we'll do, I'll take this. So we have 9 watts. And, oh, I should find out what this number is. So 1 minus 0.00265, 0.99735. Okay, so 9 times 0.99735. 1 year. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So after 20 years, it's down to 8.5 amps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After 10 years, it's down. After 30 years, it's down to 8.3 amps. That's why this math doesn't quite add up, because, you know, taking 0.99735 now takes away less than before. So this isn't quite an accurate number. I'll have to actually do the math correctly, figure out what the heck that is. I actually found out that 0.99687 results in a much similar number. So this is after 30 years. 7, 8, 9, 10. 40 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 50 years. And lastly, if our maths are correct and our dates are correct and all of that, this panel would be at 6.5 watts after a century. See, it's my firm belief that a lot of these panels are showing that they're not aging as fast as many people expect. I think, granted, a lot of those numbers are companies trying to set their expectations a little bit lower because they don't want people to be upset at them for lying, I guess. Then also a lot is industrial use. For instance, if you have a solar farm where they are getting pounded every single day, and maybe even if you're using mirrors to overpower them and such, yeah, you'll probably lose a good percentage a year. But it seems like, from my usage, it's not going down as much as they say it will. And I would expect that the newer solar panels probably would last longer as well, because I have some New Power and then also Renogy panels that seem to be doing exactly like they did 9 years ago. I think that's all I can get though. So 1.25, 1.25 is the highest I ever got, and that was at effectively 7 volts. So let's say 1.2 at 6.9 or 6.8 volts. So that's 8.18 watts. And ow. God damn, this is hot. This panel's kind of burning up too. Interesting. So we'll have about 8 watts of power that we can get from this at the peak. So this is an 8 watt panel. You can get off. This is an 8 watt panel. I increased the power a little bit by removing some wire and going up to this thicker wire that I have, and then also just waiting for the sun to come out. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little look at this late 1980s solar panel. And I can't wait to get my other one that actually has data on the back of it, because this thing's kind of useless for these tests. But I thought I might as well do a video of testing it. Let's get out of here because it's getting kind of hot. Yeah. I kind of hate summer. Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, this is miserable.
just dripping off me. Ugh. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you very much for watching. See ya. Not sure if I said that yet or not, but I went ahead and said it again. Oh.
That way.
Oh, right. I might as well just go ahead and carry it like this for the spot.